the bordbia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards of traceability and care for the environment.
Today my food trails take me to West Cork. Valerie Kingston has been making cheesecake at Glenilen farm for 20 years, and I'm interested to see how the business is growing. From there, it's off to Cork City itself to join Executive Head Chef Mark Staples at Hayfield Manor as he cooks one of my favourite ingredients, duck. And of course, I'll be doing some cooking myself on board the Shannon Princess, starting with recipes for 2 warm salads. Salads are a lot more interesting nowadays, and I've got 2 warm salads to show you that you can enjoy all year round. The first one is a chorizo with chickpeas. There's some red onion and chilli, so it's really nice and spicy and fiery. And the next one I'm going to show you, I'm using some cashew blue cheese, which I love, with some apple and also some crispy smoked bacon. Delicious. So let's get started. The base, first of all, for the chorizo salad, we're going to use a little bit of oil, some chilli, and you can again have this as hot or as mild as you want to. This is 1 large red chilli, which we've sliced. Remove the seeds. So we may as well just put that in there. And then garlic. Now there's lots of garlic in this recipe. You can blend it in the food processor or just simply chop that, or you can crush it. So we're going to put lots of garlic. Put this all in here and then just stir it. Sometimes with chilli you need to be careful because as you're cooking it can kind of catch in your throat a little bit. I'm going to keep it on a full heat for about maybe a minute or 2 and then I might reduce it. The lid goes on just to let that soften. On this pan here, which I've preheated, we're going to put some chorizo. The size of your small finger is the best way to describe it, the way I've cut it. And this will start to render out that beautiful smoked paprika, those spices, and a little bit of oil will come onto the pan. If you don't like chorizo, you could use maybe a pork and leek sausage or something like that. So just play around. That's what salads are all about. Let's have a look at our onions. So you're just softening the red onion. You don't want it to overcook now. That's the most important thing because you want texture. So lid goes back on. Let's turn the chorizo. So I've kept the pan really, really hot. And you can see the way it caramelizes. So that will even give it more flavour and texture. So I'm just going to shake this. Lovely. Turn it down. So I'm going to start my next recipe, and this is the shallots, which are a small variety of onion, which are peeled and finely diced. We need to soften that just in the pan. I'm going to put in my chickpeas, so a can of chickpeas, just to warm them. And then I'm going to toss everything together. Just give it a little shake. So the chickpeas are going to take on that lovely colour, that lovely oil. It's going to be great flavour there. Let's have a little look at our onions. I'm happy with them. They're nicely softened, still keeping a little bit of texture, and they've caught a little bit of colour because they caramelise. On to shallots. I'm going to turn them off because I don't want them to overcook. So I'm just going to leave them there just to finish off. So I'm going to place in some cider vinegar. We're going to deglaze this. Hear that sizzle? Let this reduce down a little bit. So while that's on reducing, I'm going to switch off the chorizo. I want to get lots of lovely herbs in. And herbs I think work really well as some mint and some flat leaf parsley. Stir this through. We're going to put some oil. So I'm going to use some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I can smell the vinegar now, which is reduced. So a little bit of sea salt, black pepper. I'm going to scrape this all into the pan here. So that's the onions, the vinegar is reduced. Nice bit of colour there. You get that spice from the chilli, spice from the chorizo. I'm going to switch that off. So you're going to serve it warm. That would actually be nice cold, but I think it's nicer warm. So on to a very, very simple dressing in the pan. We're going to use red wine vinegar in this recipe. So in our other recipe, we use cider vinegar. Red wine vinegar is a really nice vinegar to use. We've cooked our shallot, deglazed the pan with the vinegar, some olive oil in this one again. So I'm going to let this just reduce for a minute. So I'm just going to use a spoonful of whole grain mustard and then some spring onion, which is chopped, and add lovely freshness and colour and flavour. And the most important thing about a dressing is the seasoning. Some salt. You need to be careful because the blue cheese has a tendency to be a nice little bit of salt in that. And then some lovely fresh herbs. You could use mint, but I'm going to use some flat leaf parsley. I think it works really well. And that dressing you can have made in your fridge. We're going to dress up our salad. Slice a little bit of apple. Cut this into nice little slices here. I'm just using a serrated edge knife for this. Arrange the apple just at the bottom of the plate. Our blue cheese, and this is Cashel Blue. So we just sprinkle this. These are some baby salad leaves. Arrange this just over. We're going to use some beautiful bacon, which is cooked, and this is smoked bacon. A little bit extra blue cheese. Microgreens, edible flowers, a little bit of micro salad, and some of these are very intense, but they work really well, give lovely colour and freshness. Stir through your dressing, arrange it just around like that. Because it's warm, you got to eat this straight away. And just a little bit of the dressing just over the salad. So that's the first salad. The next one is the chorizo. Arrange the chorizo just on the plate. So they're like small little cocktail sausages, so they are. So you have your chickpeas, the red onion, and there's a nice kick to this. I'm going to serve it with some feta cheese, and this works really well because it's a firm cheese. We have oak leaf, we have a little bit of rocket, which I love, baby spinach, and then some edible flowers, some microgreens. So that's my two warm salads. The first one is the chorizo with the chickpea, lovely bit of spice to that. Finished it with some feta cheese, and the next one here is the Cashel Blue, smoked bacon and apple salad. Glenilen Farm began 20 years ago when Valerie Kingston used the milk from her husband's farm to make cheesecake. Since then, the brand has become well known for its yoghurt, cream cheese, butter, clotted cream, as well as the original product, Valerie's Cheesecake. Of course I will, thank you. Valerie, I'm a big fan of cheesecake, and there's this restaurant in San Sebastian that does a baked cheesecake. I love it, so I do. Now, you're famous for your cheesecake, and I've come here to see how you make it. So let's get started. You tell me what to do.
So we'll start by squeezing the lemons. You have those two lemons there, if you wouldn't mind squeezing.
Those are very juicy lemons.
I put them into the microwave on just a defrost setting for about a minute or so. It makes them so much easier to squeeze.
Where did you learn that trick?
Well, when you squeeze a lot of lemons, you pick up any tip you can. Yeah. If you want to put it in here, what we use is the powdered gelatin. Okay. Don't just throw it all in one go, because if it forms a lump, you're in trouble. So now quickly...
That's a really good tip, because people get nervous using gelatin.
And then either in the microwave or over a saucepan of simmering water, stir that until the gelatin has dissolved. Don't boil it, it won't set. We'll just let that there cool a bit, because we don't want it too hot when it goes into our mixture.
All right.
So we'll make the base, will we? We use a digestive biscuit in our base. Just used a hobnob biscuit here today for a bit of texture.
Do you want these really fine?
Depends how angry you feel, really.
No, not angry in your kitchen. Especially when it comes to lemon cheesecake. I'm a very happy chef.
Great, I think that's good.
Happy with that? So this is your own butter that you make here, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, yeah. Butter making is amazing. You know, you just start with the cream. We have a butter churn over in the cheese house, and you whip up the cream. Of course, everybody's over-whipped cream at some stage and made butter. Then it forms into these grains. You stop it at that stage and you drain the buttermilk off, and then you wash the grains until the water comes out clear. Then just work it together, then add a bit of salt. And that's all it is.
So you just soften that down?
So I'm melting that. We'll add those crumbs in there now.
Do you use butter now in the base for the cheesecakes?
Oh yes, always butter. We've a herd of 55 cows here, and that, at this stage, only supplies about 30% of our requirement for milk in the factory. So it's a long way off when we started off with 2 saucepans of milk. So we buy in the rest of the milk from our neighbours. There's a lot of people involved now at this stage. Just press that in then. I've rubbed some butter around the edge of the tin there so that it'll come away nice and clean.
And Valerie, how many cheesecakes would you make now in the factory?
We make about 5,000 a week, I'd say. What we're doing today is the same recipe as what we use in the cheese house.
Just scaled up a bit, isn't it?
Just scaled up. So we'll go ahead now and do the topping. We'll whip the cream. This will make a bit of noise there.
That's okay.
I'll whip it up softly. So, not too. I don't want to make butter of it.
Soft peaks.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We'll add the cheese. It's just a low-fat soft cheese that we make here on the farm. Just with milk and a little bacterial culture. Let it curdle, and the next day drain off the whey and just zest. So we'll add in a bit of sugar there. Give it a little whip up. Very good.
So that's our gelatine.
That's
isn't that
our
right?
gelatine.
Yeah, with the lemon juice.
And lemon juice.
That I beautifully squeezed. I just want to
Yes,
say that.
and it's not too hot.
I help you, sorry, yeah.
Would you mind?
Okay.
Okay. That's it. Ready to put in on top of our base. So it's just cream, cheese, lemon juice, gelatine, and a bit of sugar.
Your own butter, your own cream cheese, your own cream.
I'd bake the biscuits if I could.
I see you would. Beautiful.
Okay, and ready to put in the fridge, and it'll be ready in about an hour or two. It's all set, ready to go. Do you want to decorate it there?
Yeah.
Some raspberries.
Beautiful. Are these your own?
They are, yeah, and a bit of lemon balm from
Gorgeous.
the garden.
Valerie, at Glenilen Farm, sustainability is very important, and I noticed in the dairy, solar panels on the roof. Tell me a little bit about that.
We're actually part of this Origin Green Charter, which aims to have all the food producers in Ireland producing their food to the most sustainable standards and bring Ireland to be the most sustainable food producing country in the world. For us, it means why not use the energy of the sun to heat the water, and actually the water that we heat is harvested from the roof, and we collect that so as to save pumping water up from the ground. We also recover the heat from the equipment for the refrigeration and the freezing, and we have a goal of reducing our energy bills by 10%. Any of the food waste from the cheese house, we have 3 pigs and we feed it to them.
So are you happy with the cheesecakes?
Well, we cut a slice and try
of course.
it. There
Nice
we
little
go.
wobble.
And there's a spoon.
A small spoon like that. Lovely and sharp.
Yeah,
Really light.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
I
I'm
do.
very happy because I don't have to go back to San Sebastian now for cheesecake.
Oh, you're very kind,
Valerie, so
Sebastian.
nice to meet you.
And you too, Neven. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Wish you and Anna continued success. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Neven.
The bordbia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards.